What's going on, guys? This is Chris from the Boys Podcast, and today I want to talk about my top 10 video games of all time. And it's funny, when we all make this list, we all start to put our favorite video games of all time, but then we get kind of complacent. And then we want to start putting games that other people and other, critics and stuff rank as very high games on our list to get a positive reaction from you guys, the viewers. But like always, I always stay true to myself, and I never do that. I'm gonna go with nostalgic value and just games that mean so much to me growing up that it made my top 10 games of all time. With that being said, I want to give a quick shout out to a few games that got edged off my list because of that reason. And I've talked about this game a lot, and I'm really surprised it got edged off, but going with what I was just saying, nostalgic value in games that just mean and meant so much to me, it got edged off. So Skyrim, I want to give a huge shout out to Skyrim. This was the game that I used to daydream about my early days of elementary school, of knights and dragons and adventure and exploration. What an incredible game. Also, I want to give a shout out to San Andreas and GTA 5. Fantastic, fucking fun games. But the games that are on my list are like, they aren't games to me. When I open up that game case, and I see the disc, it's more like a storybook, and it holds so much value to me more than just playing a great game. So guys, like I said, this is my personal top 10 video games of all time. Please put yours below. I'd love to see it, and let's jump right into it. Alright guys, jumping into the top 10. Number 10 for me is a game, like I was saying earlier, when I open up this case, it's just not a game. It's a fucking storybook to me. And it really tells the story of my high school days and those summer days, just hanging out with my friends all day. And I'm talking about UFC Undisputed 2010. Oh my goodness, this was to us the golden era of the UFC, and we never missed an event. We never missed a pay-per-view. We always paid for everything, and before every pay-per-view, we would play this game. And it wasn't just we would play it. Like many of you guys know, Dan, my co-host, he was a maniac back then, and he would create all of us in the game. He even created all of the other students in the game. He created teachers in the game so we could fight them. And we had rankings. We had a website. We had the character bios. We had a championship belt. It was just insane what Dan put together for us. He even made a fake Dana White profile on Facebook back then, and he had a couple fighters actually mad at him. And I remember guys like John Doomsday Howard actually messaging the fake Dana White profile and being extremely mad at Dan, saying he was gonna sue him and all this shit. It was incredibly funny, but man, did we ever play this game? And it really defines our high school years to me. And we would skip school to play it. We would think about it all day. We would talk about it all day. We would laugh and joke about it. We would go to Dan's house after school and just play it, play all the matches, get our characters up in the rankings. We get excited for the matchups. We knew we were gonna have good times playing this fucking game. Like I was saying before, every event we would do a couple UFC events. It was just fucking phenomenal, and it was a great game. It was a great game. I can remember Dan was really good at it, and Gervais one day, one of my friends Gervais, learned how to do the reversals, and that changed the game for everybody. And I remember Dan just stayed up all night wrestling, training with Dan Henderson, he said, to try to figure out how to reverse and all that. But that really changed the game to making it more competitive so we could all compete on a higher level. But man, what a fun time that was. It really defined those high school years for me. Other people have the games that they played in high school, and for us, that was the game along with NBA. But this was the game, man. We were such big fans. We took it to another level when we had our own character profiles and bios and rankings. It was just incredible time playing this game. So at number 10 for me, guys, comes UFC Undisputed 2000. Number 9 for me, I've talked about it a little bit on the channel already. And when my parents first moved up from inner city Toronto to a small town in Innisfil, I made a friend and gave me my first Game Boy and Pokemon game. I ended up going to his house later on, sleepovers, this and that, and we used to game his Super Nintendo a lot. And we would game a game that was a masterpiece. And Sega has its own version of this game, but I played the Super NES version, and I'm talking about Turtles in Time. My favorite Super Nintendo game of all time. Had to make my list. This game is fucking phenomenal, and I played a lot of beat 'em up games, and this game just does everything perfect. Everything is fucking perfect in this game. The controls are fucking perfect. There's no lag. There's nothing. The graphics are fun at the time. The music is great at the time. There's a lot of humor. They bring in all the characters we love from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles series and movies. This game is absolutely phenomenal. The storyline is so fun that you get to go back in time to all these prehistoric times and all these ancient times. And wow, what a fantastic game Turtles in Time is. And I remember when I started getting into video game collecting, Turtles in Time was kind of hard to find, and if you did find it, it had a high price tag. And at the time, I worked at Goodwill. But at this Goodwill location, employees weren't allowed to take the donations or purchase stuff when we were working. So there was no way I could get this game. And one time it came in, and I was like, oh my goodness. And I remember the staff member priced it, because back then we used to price all the games $2 to $4. And she priced it for $2, and she put in the glass case along with some other Super Nintendo games. And I was like, oh fuck, I need to get this game. And then they're like, Chris, you're gonna go on cash today. I'm like, okay, I have a chance here, I have a chance. And a customer came in, and she'd come in a lot. She was, reoccurring customer that we usually get all the time. So I went up to her, I'm like, I'm really sorry. Is it possible that you can buy me something and I'll pay you back the money? And she's like, absolutely, no problem. What is it? I'm like, it's this video game. It's only $2. And she was like, sure, no problem, done. She went up to the cash. I rang her out $2, and I didn't change the price. I did not change the price. That's what an employee priced it at. And she's like, okay, where do you want me to put it? And I'm like, oh shit, give me 1 second. So I ran to the back. I told the boss, hey, I forgot something in my car. Can I go grab it? She's like, yeah, go ahead. I ran there. I put down the crack of my window about this big, so a Super Nintendo game could just fall out on the seat because it was winter time. And I came back in. I'm like, my car's the Nissan Altima there. If you could please just put it through the window whenever you got time. She's like, no problem. And she ended up doing that for me. So thankful, and I still have that copy of Turtles in Time today. That's my copy of Turtles in Time. I'm never gonna get rid of it. But Turtles in Time, just the memories of making a new friend, moving up to this neighborhood, and I was nervous and scared, and just playing this game, and it was unbelievable. Such a fun game. And then I even love it so much. I bought it for Dan 2 years ago for Christmas. If you've seen the Christmas episode, and I know he loved it, and he probably gamed it a few times. So guys, at number 9 comes Turtles in Time. Number 8 for me. This game is special to me in many different ways, and it's a fantastic fucking video game. But this actually created a bond with me and my father, and it's one of those bonds that were few and far in between for us growing up. So it's a very special game for me. I really wanted to do a single episode on it, so I'm not going to dive into it too much. But for me, at number 8 comes The Warriors. And this game is fucking awesome. And I remember going to Blockbuster, and we picked it up. It was around that price range. My dad was always okay with buying a game, got $9 to $20, and it was previously played, so I think it was around $19. I had no idea what it was. I just looked at it, I'm like, oh, this game looks cool. Look at all these people on the cover. And my dad's like, oh yeah, that's The Warriors. That was an old movie, I went to go see it in theaters. It's really cool. And I was like, all right, I'm going to pick it up. And my goodness, was this game ever fucking phenomenal, man. And what I loved about gaming, back then when we were growing up, was the co-op play. And my brother and I would play this all fucking night. We would, loot, we would rob things, and the adventures we would go on. Just such a fun game, the Warriors is. And this is what Rockstar does. Rockstar makes fucking fantastic fucking video games. Absolutely love Rockstar as a company. But the Warriors were so special because I remember just playing it, and this happened twice. When also my dad introduced me to Bloodsport. That was really great memory I have also. But my dad was like, man, let me get the movie and we'll watch the movie because I was playing it so much, and we ended up watching the movie and getting a bond over it. And the Warriors were so special to me. I remember the main computer for us, because we had one main computer for all of us. I had changed it to a Warriors background, and I used my buddies and I would always be out late all the time, and I'd be the last one walking home, and I would pretend like I was in the Warriors, and there would be people after me and shit, and I would be running home and hiding and playing. I remember taking spray cans and spraying little billboards in the town, and especially my dad's garage. I feel really bad for my dad's garage because we really vandalized the drywall in there, and I have to post a picture of me putting the Warriors logo and then the NWO logo and stuff like that in my dad's garage. But man, this game is fucking awesome, man. And there's a few games that we have to see remade, and the Warriors is definitely a game that has to be remade or remastered, but please keep it only to remastering the video game, not the movie. Leave the movie alone. We don't need to fuck up the Warriors movies. Please, just leave the Warriors movie alone. We don't need to do anything to it. But guys, this game is fucking phenomenal. Like I said, I want to do another episode and talk more deep into it. So at number 8 for me, guys, comes the Warriors. At number 7 is a game that I like to say is a product of its time. And I've done a video on it previously, but I'm going to say, if not the best fighting game of all time, one of the best fighting games of all time. And I'm talking about Def Jam Fight for New York. What a product of its time, that era of hip hop. Baggy pants, long t-shirts, headbands, wristbands, fucking Nikes. What a great time this was. And I'm a big hip hop head, coming in from that gritty, hardcore 90s feel into this new era of hip hop. We're getting a new scene of hip hop, a new sound of hip hop. I absolutely love this game, and it introduced all that with an amazing storyline. The cast of characters of Def Jam at the time was fucking phenomenal. To create a character mode in this game is fun. From the clothing, to the chains, to the shoes, to the music, to the cutscenes. This game is fucking epic, and it pretty much hit them. It was fucking an amazing game, and then we were all excited when Def Jam Icons came out, and that kind of, wasn't that good, but it didn't really hit the mark as well as Fight for New York. But I really just think it's the product of its time. It was that era. It was the perfect time for this game and Vendetta to really come out and grab the attention of the hip hop fans and even non-hip hop fans getting this game. This game is fucking awesome, from the levels, to the characters, to the funny cutscenes, to the amazing finishers you can do in this game and special moves. To everything in this game is fucking incredible. So guys, at number 7 for me comes Def Jam Fight for New York. Coming in at number 6 is a game I got for Christmas for my wife, along with Cyberpunk, and the hype for Cyberpunk was so massive, man, and didn't miss the mark. Yes, for me, it did miss the mark. I played it, I beat it, I explored, but it just didn't live up to the hype that I found that it was pushing. But great game, Cyberpunk, but this was the game I was excited for. Just watching the trailers, I was like, okay, this is down my alley. And I'm talking about Ghost of Tsushima. What a video game this is. And I got it for Christmas along with Cyberpunk, and I knew this was going to be one of the few times that I was going to be able to really dive and jump into a video game give it all my time, put a lot of hours in it because at the time my wife was pregnant with our twin boys. So I knew this was going to be the final video game I was going to be able to really put a lot of hours in before my sons were born, and I wasn't going to get as much screenplay time anymore. And did I ever jump into this game? The mechanics, the music, the combat, the graphics, the storyline, the exploration, everything in this game is fucking fantastic. If you have not played this game, please go out and buy this game. It is fantastic. And now with the trailer and stuff of the new one coming out, my wife always, she keeps bugging me, we should buy a PS5, we should buy a PS5. I keep saying there's no point because we're not gonna ever play it. But I have to rethink that option because the new one coming out looks fantastic. But like I was saying, this was one of those games where I invested so much time into it. I didn't look at any walkthroughs. I would play it every night when I came home from work. I'd play it on the weekend. My wife would sit there on the couch and watch it and be amazed of how beautiful the scenery was in this game. And I was able to get every trophy in the game without looking at any walkthrough. I really put a lot of hours in this game. This game is wonderful. So guys, coming in is Ghost of Tsushima. Alright guys, are you still with me? We're hitting the top 5 now of my top 10 video games of all time. And at number 5, this game is art. This game is a master fucking piece. It is so beautiful. And the funny thing is, when this game was announced, I didn't even look at any trailers. I didn't do anything like that. I just pre-ordered on the PS4 and I was like, that's it. I'm not looking into it. I don't want to hear anything about it. And I'm talking about Red Dead Redemption 2. And to me, I also played God of War. I honestly don't know how God of War won Game of the Year over Red Dead. Because God of War is a great game, but Red Dead is a different story. You can still fucking play Red Dead now and find things and do fucking fun things. That's how incredible these games are that Rockstar produces, man. But Red Dead, oh my goodness, is this game ever epic. And I remember playing, Red Dead Redemption and enjoying it back in the day. And when this one was released, I'm like, oh wow, and a sequel. I was so excited. And then when I got it and found out it was a prequel, I was like, oh fuck, it's a prequel. I didn't know because I didn't look into it. I just said, oh my god, it's Red Dead Redemption 2 is coming out. I just fucking pre-ordered. I didn't even look at anything. And then when I found out it was a prequel to the story, I was like, oh man, this is going to be great. And then I started playing, and then you're in the winter time. It's very slow paced. And I remember just sitting there for like an hour and a half going through the winter and walking, and I'm like, uh-oh, this is kind of boring. And then it starts to get good. And then it starts to get really good. And then it starts to get epic. And then it starts to get legendary. This game is a masterful art piece that is absolutely phenomenal. And this is a journey. Playing this game, you go through an epic journey, man, and it's an emotional ride. For anyone that knows and played this game and put time in this game, absolutely know what I'm talking about. This game is, there's certain games when you buy a game and you get your money's worth. And there's a few games on my list coming up that obviously you get your money's worth. And this is one of those games where you can get your money's worth and play this game for the next 8 to 10 years and still feel like you're still getting your money's worth. Red Dead Redemption 2 is art, man. Just a fantastic game. You can kill an animal and then come back days later and see it decaying, and then it's still there, the bones, like years down the road. It's incredible, man. The attention to detail they put in this game, the story mode, how it grips you. Oh my goodness, man. Red Dead Redemption 2 is a phenomenal, fantastic game, and that comes in at number 5. Number 4 for me, Red Dead. I wish it was a little higher, but like I said in the beginning, nostalgia plays a huge factor. And like I said, opening up the game pace, and it's a storybook to me, is this game. And I'm talking about Halo 3. This was the epitome to me of the best online experience I've ever had. And Call of Duty was great, and this era was great with Call of Duty going against Halo for online supremacy. But Halo 3 to me is the greatest Halo game they've ever made. Hands down. From creating your own levels and spending hours there to playing co-op story mode when you were able to play with a friend, and then the online was incredible, man. And I remember just putting hours and hours into online, and that was what we did, man, and just building up your ranking system. And it's funny, before I had my own online account, I would just play as a guest with my brother. So I was already pretty good. And then I remember getting my own account finally and going through the online phases in the early going and ranking up. It's so funny, so easily. I remember just killing everybody and I wouldn't even die. It would be like 25 kills and I wouldn't even die. I was just killing everybody because I already had so much experience playing. I got highly ranked in it. I was actually a ranked gamer in it, and I just love sniping people. And this game was incredible, man. And going after all the skulls and playing with your friend and just going through the game a bunch of times. And man, the flood on legendary and stuff is incredibly fucking difficult. The difficulty in this game when you put it in that high level is insane. People go, oh, the grunts or nothing, whatever. But no, when you put those motherfuckers on legendary, oh fuck, man, they'll kill your ass real quick, man. But the memories and the summertime gaming of Halo 3 with everyone coming over and system linking and then online and then 4 players split screen. Oh my goodness, those just live right here in my soul and my blood, man. Just absolutely adore Halo 3. The best Halo game of all time to me. But guys, coming in at number 4, Halo 3. We're finally in the top 3 games of all time, and coming at number 3, I'm going to cheat a little bit, and I'm putting in the original Pokemon Game Boy games. I'm putting in red, blue, and yellow in one combination here. This was the era of Pokemon. And it's crazy that Pokemon is still going, and the cards, oh my goodness, trying to get fucking Pokemon cards now. I was lucky years before the big Pokemon social media craze, I was able to get my original base set, so I'm happy. I don't need any more fucking cards. But man, the craze for those Pokemon cards is insane. But these games were incredible. And this is the games that made you buy a Game Boy. I don't care about any of the other Game Boy games. This was the game that people bought Game Boys for, was the Pokemon game. And to get the show into a video game, this game is awesome. And if you're not a fan of RPG games, everyone is a fan of the Pokemon games. And it was just so easy to dive into. Even if you didn't like Pokemon, you could dive into this game and fall in love with the characters, and fall in love with Pokemon, and fall in love with the storyline, and fall in love with battling and leveling up and the grind to go to the Elite Four. This was a great fucking games, man. And this was the time where you would see kids with their Game Boy Colors sitting on the grass, whether at home, whether at school, whether in the car traveling. We all took Pokemon with us. And this game and the memory of moving up to Innisfil, and the one kid, the first day I moved up there, giving me my first Game Boy and Pokemon Blue, lived with me forever. I even have a tattoo on my arm, the memory of Pokemon and growing up. I have a tattoo of Pikachu playing the brick Game Boy, just to remind me of that memory that has lasted forever with me. So guys, at number 3 comes those Pokemon games, the original ones for the Game Boy, red, blue, and yellow. Alright guys, number 2, it's no secret if you watch the channel, I fucking love this video game. And I remember watching my friend play it and being in awe, going, what is this fucking game? This is insane. And finally, years later, getting Shenmue 2, and then getting my Dreamcast from Dan, and then getting Shenmue and finally playing it. Man, and I'm talking about Shenmue. And I'm cheating again. I'm putting Shenmue 1 and 2 at my number 2 spot. I don't give a fuck. This is my list. I can do that. This game is epic, and it's not for everybody. A lot of people don't like the Shenmue series. A lot of people don't like a lot of things, a lot of back and forth walking around, but I absolutely love that. I love the grind. I love, everything this game encompasses. This game is wonderful, man. And I've done a few videos on Shenmue, so I'm not gonna dive into Shenmue so much, but I absolutely love the story. I was pretty upset with number three when we didn't get the final end to the story and finally get that Landy finish we should have got. I don't think we're gonna get a Shenmue 4, and the anime, I don't think Crunchyroll is gonna be doing that. Whoever produced it isn't gonna be making it anymore. So if we would have got the ending there, I would have been okay, fine, because the anime really did a really good job. But Shenmue 1 and 2 is just incredible. And I talked about games that you get your money's worth. I got my money's worth when I got these games. And it is incredible. It's really put me on another path of seeing games in a different light. The Shenmue series changed gaming forever, and it has changed me forever. I absolutely adore and love Shenmue. So Shenmue for me comes in at number 2. Hey guys, we made it at number 1, and it's no secret if you view the channel, I absolutely love this game. And at number 1 for me comes The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. This game is timeless to me. I don't care how many times it comes out, it is fantastic. And I've said the story so many times on the channel, I'll say it one more time. But I remember watching my brother playing this game, Link as a small boy, and then I came back the next day and he was growing. And I was in shock because I'd never seen something like that in a video game. And he was like, yeah, he grew up. And I'm like, this is incredible. From the combat system, to the music, to the graphics, to the adventure, to the characters. This game is unfucking believable. And I know a lot of gamers go, oh yeah, Ocarina of Time, yeah. No, to me this is without a doubt the greatest game of all time. It is so inspiring when you play this game. It is truly a love letter. And I recently just told my wife I'm finally gonna jump into the ones on the Switch. I know you guys are going, but you haven't played those ones. No, I haven't. I've been extremely fucking busy the last couple of years. So I'm gonna be getting those games in the next month. I'm gonna be diving in those because I heard they're phenomenal. So you never know. Top 10 games or top 10 lists are always, they can always be revisited. Which we may revisit this down the line in the future for sure, because there's so many video games that I haven't played yet, and there's so many video games that haven't come out yet. And GTA coming out in the next year or so is gonna be probably the biggest game of all time. So you never know. We might be jumping into this list in the next couple of years again, but number 1 for me always will be The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. I have truly love this game. It is masterful. It is a masterpiece. It is a work of art. It is a gem. It's a treasure. It's everything you want it to be. And there's certain things in life that are just etched in stone for greatness, and this is etched in stone in greatness. So at number 1 for me comes Ocarina of Time. What a beautiful game it is, man. So guys, please put your top 10 games below, and I will see you next time for another episode.